Joining us now, former LSU and NFL quarterback Zach Mettenberger. The Met Show, my man. What's up, brother?
Jacob, how we doing?
Doing well, man. Hey, glad to have you on. And want to catch up with you first and foremost, but I know you're playing in the Spring Football League, and this is a league that's in its fourth season. You got an exhibition game coming up against Japan on March 1st at the Star in Frisco. Then you've got 4 other games at Sam Boyd Stadium out in Las Vegas. And so kind of tell our listeners exactly what the Spring Football League is and what the goal of the league is.
So the Spring League, unfortunately, I will not be playing against Japan. That would have been really cool. But the Spring League is more of a scouting developmental league. It's for, those guys who possibly, didn't get an XFL shot, didn't get a CFL shot or NFL shot, but they're very capable players. So really this is just an opportunity for those guys to extend their career a bit and hopefully, one scout gives them the opportunity to play at the next level.
So I was surprised to see since 2017 that this league has had 88 of its players signed to NFL contracts, another 55, I believe, to CFL agreements. And so do you have any names or guys that have played before in this league? Is it a deal where there's some names? I know Johnny Manziel, I believe, played in this league as well, didn't he?
Yeah, me and Johnny played the same year together. But yeah, it's a lot of DBs, a lot of linebackers, O-line and D-line guys have been very successful in this league. And I think it's just a testament to what Brian Woods is doing and kind of how he's kind of got this game going over the last few years. He's got it ironed out to where it's very efficient and, smooth transition onto the field in just such a short time. We have a week to prepare for our first game, so it's definitely a crunch time situation to get into it.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule, and you mentioned a week to prepare. I mean, you've got really crunch time there in Las Vegas on March 7th and 11th, where you're going to be playing a lot of games. Is that by design to see exactly what you can handle, right? You're brought in, you got a week to prepare for the game, and then you play these multiple games in a short period of time to see exactly what you can handle?
I think that's got something to do with it. Obviously, if you're able to pick up, and look, it's not a full playbook. It's, cut down significantly, probably install 1, 2, and 3 for the first game. But if you're a scout and you can see this guy's crisp with his routes, he's running the right routes, he's not having mental errors, that's definitely, that excites you, especially when he's athletic on top of it. So it is a very cool opportunity and a way to showcase guys' talent.
I do want to ask you some stuff about LSU and their offense, but again, the Spring Football League, it's something that Met's a part of. I think all LSU fans should check it out. They've got their exhibition again on March 1st, followed by 4 games again out in Las Vegas, March 7th and 11th. I know I caught up with you earlier this year. You were at the game LSU versus Vanderbilt, and I know as a former LSU quarterback who put up big numbers, you had to enjoy what LSU was able to do offensively this year.
I mean, big numbers that I put up, that sliding scale moved big time after this year. My numbers look pretty minuscule, but I just think finally Louisiana produces as good of athletes, if not better, than anywhere else in the country. And the fact that, we started spreading it out, still had our power concepts and, tough guy football that we've always had at LSU, but we were spreading around, using our athletes a little bit more. I mean, going 21 personnel and having 2 guys on a route is much harder to get them open as opposed to going 10 personnel and 3 of your receivers are basketball players. So it was definitely very exciting to watch, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going in the next few years.
All right, now, Zach, I don't think you need to just throw your numbers to the side because you threw for over 3,000 yards with a offense that was still dotting the I, 22 touchdowns. So I think you need to give yourself a little bit more credit in that system because, like you said, there was a lot of 6- and 7-man protections where you had only a couple of guys out en route.
Well, look, I tend to say, hey, I had Odell and Jarvis. Anything I threw within 5 yards of those guys, they were catching. So it's all relative in how you look at it.
Isn't it funny, though, Zach, how – and we're catching up with Zach Mettenberger, former LSU and NFL quarterback here on Hanging with Hester, how the RPO system and the spread system really started in high school, and then you started to see some colleges try to implement it in their game, And now you're seeing it in the NFL. I'll be honest with you. I never thought that we would see these concepts in the NFL, but the league's MVP, Lamar Jackson, did a ton of it with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, the RPO is definitely a new wrinkle at it. I think Coach Peterson with the Eagles was really, because he was a high school coach 4 years before, but he was one that really brought it and really implemented into their game plan. It's got a lot of good stuff, good concepts about it that's based on not blocking, the backer that you would normally block to get the run game. You're dictating if he's going to step up too far and you can rip that slant behind him. I think with way these defenses evolve, it's going to be much harder for guys to be successful at it. But at the same time, when you got a guy like Lamar Jackson who can freestyle better than anyone, you can pretty much do anything.
Hey, Zach, it's Hunt Palmer. I sit here 2 days a week with a guy who laments the fact that the fullback's being extinct in football. And you start to look at, like you're talking about Lamar Jackson, and some of the quarterbacks that are playing in the NFL and especially in college, and it's changing from what it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago. What do you think the future is at quarterback?
Well, I mean, it's definitely, the old school Bledsoe model, myself, the big, strong-arm guys is kind of becoming a dinosaur with the way defensive ends and D tackles are, just how athletic they are. They're going to get to the quarterback. So you've got to be able to escape. Obviously there's guys like Brady, Matt Ryan, who still can maneuver